Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is kind of a monumental day on the 70th anniversary. I think they chose this on purpose, of Israel becoming a nation. Yeah. Trump has finally, after several presidents said that they were going to and that it should be, moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. Yeah. And a lot of people, a lot of our friends that don't keep up on the news, they're like, well, wait a minute. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Mm-hmm. Well, yes, it is. It goes without saying. Well, no. But for some reason, by Trump moving the embassy to Jerusalem, it makes a very bold statement to the rest of the world who, guess what, guys? They don't really hold it.
Just Google it.
As the capital of Israel. They don't. And so we're going to get into that a little bit today, I think.
Yeah. So I know that a lot of people are conflicted, just like you're conflicted with our own United States government.
Right.
Israel has a deep state, and they do things with our deep state. And they do a lot of things with our deep state to keep themselves alive. But I open up my Bible. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel and the Jewish people and the Jewish nation. It's that simple. It's a historical fact.
Yeah.
And it has changed hands throughout history. There is no such thing as Palestinian, as a state of Palestine.
It's a location.
No, it's not. It's
an area.
It was a geographical, large swath of area.
Right.
That was referred to as Palestine for many years. But there are no, quote unquote, Palestinians, as in they were part of a country or a nation or even a state. It was just vast region of Bedouin tribes, sheep herders. I'm not even kidding you. And if you go back in history and you see that the Ottoman Turks had taken over this huge swath of area, land is always changing hands back and forth. And I actually went to the Jordanian website of history, and they give a fairly unbiased view that Lebanon and Jordan and even Syria, as it is carved out today, were all created in the early 1900s. I mean, Lebanon was supposed to be a haven for Christians. Jordan, was supposed to be, and it was for a while, kind of secular, but it was for Muslims. And Syria has been kind of a mismatch of, Islamists and some Christians in there.
So I think the point you're trying to make is that all of these completely recognized nations where no one is battling over them, no one is crying that they should not exist.
Right.
And some of them that were created around the exact same time as Israel.
Right.
There's no problem with them. And yet for some reason,
go back and
everybody has a problem with Israel.
Look at the maps in the 1800s of that region.
Right.
And then you're going to get a better understanding. And that's not the point of this episode, to go into the history of Israel. But I just want you to know Israel has a right to exist. And so if we go by that as our foundation, then it only makes sense. So if Michelle would play the video of past U.S. presidents saying that Jerusalem is the capital, and why not put our embassy there?
This one right here?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Why not put our embassy where the capital is? It only makes sense.
Is still the capital of Israel and must remain an undivided city accessible to all.
As soon as I take office, I will begin the process of moving the United States ambassador to the city of Israel as chosen as its capital.
I continue to say that Jerusalem will be the capital of Israel, and I have said that before, and I will say it again.
And Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem. Therefore, I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. While previous presidents have made this a major campaign promise, they failed to deliver. Today, I am delivering. I've judged this course of action to be in the best interests of the United States of America and the pursuit of peace between Israel and the Palestinians. This is a long overdue step to advance the peace process and to work towards a lasting agreement.
You stop it.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited about this. I don't want to see Palestinians die.
No.
But honestly, the riots that happened today, and we're going to get to the riots and the deaths, and when you watch bugs go to
the bug zapper.
The bug zapper.
That's a really
you want to tell
analogy,
yourself,
but okay.
You know what?
Now you just called the Palestinians bugs.
I did, and I mean to.
Okay.
Because they're terrorists.
They are.
And they are.
Well, the ones that are going at the bug zapper are.
That's what I'm trying to say. If bugs are going to the zapper, then they're bugs. If they're not going to the zapper, then they're not terrorists and they're not bugs.
Okay.
Okay, follow me.
I'm following.
All right. So, let me get to the beginning here.
Devonna says, know how to stop deaths? Go home and stop being idiots.
Follow their example of affirming the Jewish that God Almighty continue to bless the United States, her people, and her leaders. And we pray that other countries follow their example of affirming the Jewish people's eternal bond with this holy city. There's no more quintessentially Jewish idea and aspiration than peace. The beauty of Jerusalem, as my mentor, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson of blessed memory once said, is that its walls are unifying walls. Within the confines of Jerusalem, every man, woman, and child became part of something greater than themselves. Peace is ingrained in the marrow of Jerusalem. But the prophet Zechariah said, you must love truth and peace. Peace, shalom, is the inseparable sister of truth. I pray that from today's exalting of truth, there flow to Jerusalem, her neighbors, and to the entire world, a true and perfect peace. May that day, visualized by the prophets, swiftly arrive. When nation shall not take up a sword against nation, when there will be harmony, not war, respect, not envy, love, not hate. In the words of the psalmist who sang his longing for peace, not far from right here, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be at peace. Amen.
Amen.
I like what Gary said here. He said, stop global warming by not burning tires.
Right.
Do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so for the weeks up leading up to this is actually just one tweet. I'm going to go through a lot of my... I've spent all day gathering information and kind of tweeting things out. So I'm going to go through those tweets a little bit haphazardly to kind of just give you a feel of what it was like there today. Everyone seemed to be Trump supporting. There were Trump, Make America Great Again yarmulkes.
Huh?
I'm going to show you
do
pictures
you have pictures
of that.
Of this?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
Oh my gosh, that is so
but these are
fantastic.
kites that the Palestinians have made to set on fire with swastikas. These are not peaceful protesters at all in any way. So I'm going to just try to get down to, if I can, the bottom of my Twitter feed and showing you guys some of these pictures. Now, here's one. This picture taken yesterday at a coffee house in Tel Aviv. Two Jewish guys, both with Trump shirts. The entire nation of Israel is so excited. They're supporting Trump. Actually have a Jeannie Shapiro was there.
Who?
Or Lunar was there. Judge Janine.
And then Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Two separate people. Not Jeannie Shapiro. I don't know who that person is.
Sorry, that was a tongue twister.
What do you think of President Trump moving the embassy when everyone said that they were, but they never did?
Trump is the best. Trump is a strong man. He knows what he's doing.
What do you think of the fact that the American embassy...
I hate... Sometimes when I make the Twitter big, it... My,
now going to...
My computer's freezing.
I think
He's the best. Trump is a strong man. He knows what he's doing.
What do you think of the fact that the American embassy is now going to be in Jerusalem?
I think it's the most incredible moment ever, and God bless President Trump and Judge Janine.
How do you feel about the embassy, the American embassy, being opened up here in Jerusalem?
I think it's great. I couldn't believe that Trump is holding on to his word. Every other president was just talking about it, but no one did it. So kol hakavod.
So there's a lot of celebration happening right now in Jerusalem.
And celebrations. Or celebrationings.
You're going to do this all day long. Listen, I know this. They wanted to make a whole new one for like $1 billion or whatever, millions of dollars.
We've heard this Trump speech, yeah.
And Trump's speech got it down to $400,000, which I actually do think is pretty awesome.
It shouldn't be that expensive. It's a building, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
All right. So are Israelis happy with the move? Yes, absolutely. You know, and it's two different worlds, seeing the Palestinians act like animals.
Today I'm visiting the city of Jerusalem, where a U.S. embassy will be opened this week. I'm going to ask Israelis what did they think about the move and if they are happy with it. Let's see what the Israelis think. Do you guys think that the move is the right move?
I don't think it really makes a difference because this has always been our capital and it still is our capital, but it's nice that America is acknowledging the lone soldiers and we love them. We love Israel and we think Jerusalem is the capital.
Yes, we are very happy.
First of all, I want to say that Trump is the best president ever. It was for Israel, and that is transferring the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem is the best decision, sorry, for everyone.
האם אתה שמח על העברת שגרירות?
כן, אני חושב שזה רק טוב לישראל.
ירושלים זה הבירה, ירושלים יש את בית המקדש, ואנחנו שמחים.
כן, אנחנו שמחות מאוד, כן.
Yes, I'm glad because Jerusalem is the capital of the Jewish nation.
אני חושבת שהעברת השגרירות היא מהלך מאוד נכון. ומחבר אותנו עוד לארצות הברית.
This is really a historic event and it's a symbol. It's a symbol of that we are in our rights to be here.
It shows that the world accepts Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. It's always a good thing.
Are you happy with U.S. embassy move to Jerusalem?
Quite happy, yes. I'm quite happy.
Why?
The recognition of Jerusalem is most important for us.
And there you have it. Most Israelis, if not all of them, are very happy that U.S. embassy is moving to our capital, Jerusalem. We are very happy. Jerusalem was, is, and will remain the eternal capital of Israel. Share this video.
So I'm actually pretty excited about it too. I really am. So I hate that there's, you know, negative things going on today, but let's see, here we go. Ted Cruz.
Are reports of upwards of 30 people killed on the border on Gaza Strip. And Israel's military warned that if they pressed up against that border and brought people as human shields, that they would answer back to protect the borders. We've got a serious border situation going on.
Well, listen, undoubtedly, and there's a serious problem with terrorists. You know, some months ago, I joined with Senator Kirsten Gillibrand in introducing a resolution that both houses of Congress passed unanimously, condemning the use of human shields as a war crime. And the violence we've seen in response to what happened today, it's sad, because this is simply recognizing an undeniable truth, that Israel is the undivided and Jerusalem is the undivided and eternal capital of Israel. That has been true since 70 years ago today, when Israel, the modern state of Israel, was created, and that was true 3,000 years ago. And the fact that President Trump demonstrated the courage to keep his promise, that is a message heard by our friends and heard by our enemies, that America keeps her words and we stand with the nation of Israel. That's incredibly.
Nothing has really changed. I mean, this is a symbolic move, and the fact that you've got Europe, the EU, uniting together to try to they made a resolution to condemn it, but Romania, Czechoslovakia, I believe, Hungary, and one other country. Albania, I don't know. There's one more. They stopped it from going forth.
Right.
Turkey has removed its U.S. ambassador to the United States because Erdogan, the future Islamic State guy, says that this is like an act of war or something.
Turkey ham chicken.
Turkey ham chicken.
We really don't want your ambassadors here. I'm just saying. So they can go with pleasure.
All right, here's the unveiling. The Embassy of the United States, Jerusalem, Israel. That makes perfect sense to me. I don't know why this does not make sense to people.
On behalf of the 45th President of the United States on America, we welcome you officially and for the first time to the Embassy of the United States here in Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Thank you.
So Trump wasn't there, and
he did a video.
So Michelle, queued that one up to play.
Okay.
Vice President Pence was there. Republican lawmakers were there. Candace Owens was there with Charlie Kirk. Laura Loomer was there. We're gonna get some videos from her. So play Trump.
We're gonna play Trump here.
Please cue him up.
There he is.
There's the President of the United States of America.
Exactly 70 years ago, the United States under President Harry Truman became the first nation to recognize the State of Israel. Today we officially opened the United States Embassy in Jerusalem. Congratulations. It's been a long time coming. Almost immediately after declaring statehood in 1948, Israel designated the city of Jerusalem as its capital. The capital the Jewish people established in ancient times. So important. Today, Jerusalem is the seat of Israel's government. It is the home of the Israeli legislature and the Israeli Supreme Court and Israel's prime minister and president. Israel is a sovereign nation with the right, like every other sovereign nation, to determine its own capital. Yet for many years we failed to acknowledge the obvious, the plain reality that Israel's capital is Jerusalem. On December 6, 2017, at my direction, the United States finally and officially recognized Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel. Today we follow through on this recognition and open our embassy in the historic and sacred land of Jerusalem. And we're opening it many, many years ahead of schedule. As I said in December, our greatest hope is for peace. The United States remains fully committed to facilitating a lasting peace agreement, and we continue to support the status quo at Jerusalem's holy sites, including at the Temple Mount, also known as Haram al-Sharif. This city and its entire nation is a testament to the unbreakable spirit of the Jewish people. The United States will always be a great friend of Israel and a partner in the cause of freedom and peace. We wish Ambassador Friedman good luck as he takes up his office in this beautiful Jerusalem embassy, and we extend a hand in friendship to Israel, the Palestinians, and to all of their neighbors. May there be peace. May God bless this embassy. May God bless all who serve there. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right.
So why don't you cue up Benjamin Netanyahu's one?
Okay.
His this little response here.
This is a momentous time. President Trump is making history. We are deeply grateful, and our people will be eternally grateful for his bold decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and to move the embassy there tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our start day for our people and for our state. President Trump's decision to move the embassy to Jerusalem affirms a great and simple truth. Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish people for the past 3,000 years. It's been the capital of our state for the past 70 years. It will remain our capital for all time. Thank you, President Trump, for your bold decision Thank you for making the alliance between Israel and the United States stronger than ever.
Now, this is the Conspiracy Theory channel, and I need to, in the moment of happiness, in the moment of peace, in the moment of extreme joy, this is something that I've been waiting for my whole life, to see this really solidified. We've all been praying for peace in the Middle East. I do like to throw it out there that I know that Benjamin Netanyahu is not always right. I do know that the things that he's done don't line up right. Okay, I understand, but he is a true leader. He is a strong leader. And right now, we don't have any unflawed leaders. Okay, so to say, you know, Paris is no longer part of France, or it's like somebody saying, okay, Paris is now France. It's for the French people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though I might not like Macron or something like that. Right. Germany has a right to exist. Hungary has a right to exist. Brazil has a right to exist. These countries have a right to exist. And so we're getting to a place where Israel needs to have the right to exist.
Right.
And those surrounding Israel. So there are, and we talk about that all the time, there's nobody with clean hands. All right? The Palestinians are more bloody than Israel. Is Israel bloody? Yes. But you look and you see, is there a lesser of two evils here?
Absolutely.
And the lesser of two evils is Israel. And you can be an adult about this. And you can be a critical thinker.
Sure.
And you can say, okay, Israel's done this, and this, just like America has. But America has a right to exist.
Absolutely.
Is somebody going to tell me that I don't have a right to exist because my country went over to Iraq and obliterated Iraq?
Right.
No.
Because we have overturned so many governments and done regime changes and completely messed up, Mexico and places in South America. I mean, we have wreaked havoc like a bull in a china shop all over the world. And what I do to judge my stance on Israel is I look at its enemies.
Right.
And pretty much the entire world and some of the most evil and vile nations that exist hate Israel with a passion.
And some of our viewers, they might not be able to stick with us because there are some people who hate Israel with a passion.
They do. And you know what? I want to address that just very briefly here today. The conspiracy theorists. Those of you that want to talk about Zionism, those of you that want to talk about the Rothschilds, those of you that want to talk about how Jews are trying to take over the world. There are people that are just people trying to take over the world. Okay, when you look at George Soros, he was a Jew. He is trying to take over the world, but he's not Jewish anymore from in here. He has turned evil.
The same thing with the communists that came over who were Jewish, Jewish communists.
I would challenge all of you guys, and I know I push this a lot, but it's the best explanation that I have, and I will drop this link in the description, this parable that I wrote about how we as Christians need to be always praying for the Jewish people because we are grafted into the vine. Do you know what that means? That there's a real vine.
Yeah, they're the apple of God's eye. The Jewish people.
That's very important.
Yeah. And so I'm excited about this. Now let's go on to Benjamin Netanyahu's speech here.
President Rivlin, יושב ראש הכנסת ורעייתו, שרים, חברי כנסת, ראש עיריית ירושלים, יושב ראש האופוזיציה, Secretary Menuhin, Deputy Secretary John Sullivan, Jason Greenblatt and Naomi, and your family, Ambassador David Friedman and Tammy, and your family, senators and members of Congress, and the governor of Florida. We have no better friends in the world. You stand for Israel and you stand for Jerusalem. Thank you.
Do we have any other friends? Hungary and Poland are there. All right, we're there. Okay, just stop. There's Make America Great hats in here.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Not all of them.
I want to
Not
see the
those
Make America
two.
Great
There's one
yarmulkes
right
that
there.
you mentioned, though.
We're going to get to those.
Rabbis of Israel, the distinguished rabbis who are here, the pastors,
John Hagee's there.
the many friends who've come here from around the world, the many friends who have prayed for this day and have worked for this day. Thank you all. And of course, I want to especially welcome Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump.
Isn't she Ivanka Trump Kushner?
Your presence here today is a testament to the importance of this occasion, not only for the Trump administration, but in a very personal way, for you. For you, each of you, for the pursuit of peace, and for President Trump himself. Thank you. Dear friends, what a glorious day. Remember this moment. This is history. President Trump,
I'm wearing blue and white.
by recognizing history, you have made history.
Where's your red? Israeli colors.
Oh. I get it.
All of us are deeply moved. All of us are deeply grateful. For me, being here brings back wonderful memories from my childhood. גדלתי פה, עד גיל 3. הייתי הולך פה בשדות עד גבול ידוע, כי פה היה אסור ללכת יותר, זה כבר היה מסוכן. ולכן זה יום גדול. יום גדול לירושלים, יום גדול למדינת ישראל, יום שיחרט בזיכרוננו הלאומי לדורות. So I know some of you didn't follow every word I said in Hebrew. And I'll tell you that I spent the first 3 years of my life in this neighborhood and in Getty Street in Talpiot, which is not very far away. There were a few charming houses here, many open fields. I remember ambling in these fields with my brother Yoni. He was 6, I was 3. He held my hand very tight. We'd walk to this wondrous house of Professor Joseph Klausner. The renowned Jewish historian was my father's teacher. I used to peer through the slats of the wooden synagogue where he and the great Israeli writer Shai Agnon used to pray on Shabbat. And David, I would approach this place right here, but only so far, because my mother told me, you can't go any further. This was near the border. It was exposed to sniper fire. That was then. This is now. Today, the embassy of the most powerful nation on earth, our greatest ally, the United States of America, today its embassy opened here. What a difference. What a difference. So for me, this spot brings back personal memories, but for our people, it evokes profound collective memories of the greatest moments we have known on this city on a hill. In Jerusalem, Abram passed the greatest test of faith and the right to be the father of our nation. In Jerusalem, King David established our capital 3,000 years ago. In Jerusalem, King Solomon built our temple, which stood for many centuries. In Jerusalem, Jewish exiles from Babylon rebuilt the temple, which stood for many more centuries. In Jerusalem, the Maccabees rededicated that temple and restored Jewish sovereignty in this land.
Just read about that.
And it was here in Jerusalem, some 2,000 years later, that the soldiers of Israel spoke three immortal words: Har Habayit Be'adenu, the Temple Mount is in our hands. Words that lifted the spirit of the entire nation. We are in Jerusalem and we are here to stay.
I love that this is on the PBS hour.
We are here in Jerusalem protected by the brave soldiers of the Army of Israel, led by our Chief of Staff, Gadi Eisenkot. And our brave soldiers, are protecting the borders of Israel as we speak today. We salute them all.
And we're going to get to that.
And the members of our security forces, the Shin Bet, and the Mossad, whose head is with us today. We salute you all of you. We gather here today to celebrate another historic day in the life of this city, which I know will take its place alongside other momentous decisions in the history of our people. Over a century ago, the Balfour Declaration recognized the right of the Jewish people to a national home in this land. And exactly 70 years ago today, President Truman became the first world leader to recognize the newborn Jewish state. Last December, President Trump became the first world leader to recognize Jerusalem as our capital. And today, the United States of America is opening its embassy right here in Jerusalem. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
And I really think that that's what this all boils down to. 2000, Bush says, we're going to move our embassy to Jerusalem 18 years ago. Why is everyone so stinking shocked? Why is this a thing?
I have no idea. And
Clinton
and
Obama and Bush all said, we're going to make Jerusalem the capital. This is the thing.
Well, okay. The United States moving its embassy to Jerusalem doesn't make Jerusalem the capital.
Right.
But the fact that there's a big stink about this is hilarious to me, because the idea behind having an embassy is so that you can work hand in hand with the government of the country wherein you are.
Right.
And since all of their official, their prime minister and other state things take place there in Jerusalem, it actually only makes sense from a logical standpoint to move our embassy there.
Right.
I don't understand the issue here.
Yeah,
I really do
not. Really don't. So I have to tell you here, you guys know this. This is Rio de Janeiro's iconic landmark, Christ the Redeemer, is illuminated right now in Brazil in honor of Israel. Boom, white.
Wow.
So I find that.
So also, I wanted to address something in the chat because I have been monitoring it, and I want to, for our viewers' sake, I want you guys to understand something. This is not black and white for a lot of people. And there is a lot of propaganda that's very, very convincing out there that the Palestinians are a, what is the word I'm looking for? Oppressed people.
Endangered species, basically.
Exactly.
You can't say anything negative about them. Even today, I'm not even going to tweet it. I'm not even going to show you, but
it borders on insanity, but it's not.
No,
these people are just ignorant.
They're saying these peaceful protesters. Well, they weren't really peaceful. They went up to the border. They were. Yes, they wanted to take down the fence. Yes, they had Mazel Tov cocktails. Yes, they had kites. Yes, they were burning tires. Yes, they had their faces covered in masks. I'm going to show you.
Yes, they rushed the border, but they shouldn't have been, fired upon. But my point is, what I would like to help you with the I want to help our moderators, and I want to help those that are in the chat. I want those people here. Let's not give them a hard time. Let's just let them listen. Right. And whatever they want to say, let them say it. It doesn't matter. I want them to hear what we have to say. Let's not offend anybody that might hear. We are going to be the only place that they're going to hear the truth. These people that are stumbling onto this stream, okay? They're not going to get it anywhere else.
If they want to vent, let them vent.
Let them vent. Okay. It is okay. I want contrary opinions in the chat, and then you guys can respond to them. Don't delete a contrary opinion. Just leave it.
Yeah.
Okay? Leave it so that we can give truth to people that otherwise don't have it, because the mainstream media on the right and on the left, they all do have this bleeding heart for the Palestinians that is misplaced, and it is planted as a seed by globalists.
Right.
These are people that, and Caitlin Johnstone, wonderful friend of ours, all of her Bernie supporters lose their mind in support of the Palestinians. I want to win them over to the truth. I don't want to offend them.
Yeah, so
to
make
the point
this,
that they can't learn the truth.
Unless it's like so vulgar that you can't handle it.
Well, yeah, if it's just vulgar, that's different.
Anything,
but if
leave the swear words,
words,
leave anything. If somebody's F the Jews or whatever, just leave it in there. I don't care.
Well, no,
I want people to know. I want people to know what people's reactions are.
Okay.
In this particular system, it's kind of like when you get some hate mail. You need proof of it.
Yeah.
I want to see how people are reacting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want the world to see how people are reacting.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. No fewer than 10 explosive devices targeting Israelis were detonated during today's violent Hamas-led. Hamas is terrorist, by the way. You get like 10 grand for blowing yourself. Your family gets like 10 grand when you blow yourself up. Led riots at the Gaza-Israeli border. Gunfire was reported at least 3 locations. 17 kites carrying firebombs were dispatched into Israel, igniting 23 fires. Does that look like a peaceful protest? As Gary pointed out, stop global warming
and stop burning tires. Gary, that's quotable.
There's a tire shortage, an endangered species of tires. There's no tires in Palestine because they get them and they burn them at the border. They're crazy. It's insane to burn a tire. I have smelled burning tires.
Oh, it stinks. Oh my gosh. Their little face mask is not enough to they're gonna kill themselves just by breathing in that junk, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. This is Avi Mayer. Some things are open to interpretation and some things are untrue. This CNN is simply untrue. The violent Hamas-led rioters on the Gaza-Israeli border aren't protesting the NBC move. Their leaders say openly that they want to breach the border and infiltrate Israel. The leader of Hamas encouraged the people in the Gaza Strip to breach the border and go into Israeli settlements. And many of them wanted to kill Israelis today.
Yes.
So yeah, in self-defense, people died, and I'm sad that people died. I'm sad when I'm not sad when a bug goes hits a light. People are better than bugs. I get it, even the crazy people. But
did you see the size of those tires in that picture, by the way? They were from a tank. That's not even a car tire.
So this is Hamas terror chief hopes to see hundreds of thousands storm Israeli Gaza fence. What's the problem with hundreds of thousands breaking through a fence that is not a border? He says, and it says, yeah. So this is a thing. This is a thing. We will take down the border and tear out their hearts from their bodies. Hamas leader. Tear out their hearts from their bodies. Here are tens of thousands of Israelis converge in Tel Aviv. Just exciting. They're having a big party.
Wow.
2 different worlds.
Oh my gosh. That is a lot of people. I don't think you guys can see that as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people that is.
Linda Sauer is upset. She says it's a sad day. To me, I'm rejoicing. Any day that Linda Sauer is upset about something, that's go with me. I'm not wishing bad in her, but
sour face.
You know what I mean. You have to be really careful with how you say things around here. You get kicked off for being mean.
True.
Suppose, for instance, tens of thousands of Palestinian rioters were to advance on Gaza's border with Egypt, attacking Egyptian soldiers as they attacked Israeli servicemen today. Would the death toll be in the hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands? So I pose this question. Alex Jones posed this question. Suppose for a moment that the Palestinians went to the Egyptian border with bombs and fire bombs. Do you think for one moment that those Egyptian soldiers wouldn't blow them all to their 72 virgins. Okay? Blow them all.
Richard Head says, people that teach their children to blow themselves up are not people and will never have a country.
Oh, that's true. All right, here we go.
Valid point.
So Laura Loomer was there reporting for InfoWars. Scenes from the U.S. Embassy. Israeli and American flags. Donald Trump kippas. Israel loves Donald Trump t-shirts. Make America
Hang on, there
great
it is.
hats.
There it is. No, make that big.
I am making it big. Doesn't want to be big.
Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, it's got Trump's face on it. Oh my gosh. That is fantastic.
Everybody there with signs.
That is fantastic.
Israel loves Donald Trump. Trump is a friend of Zion.
Well, there's the Zionist thing. They're all going to get upset about
Blow
that.
the trumpet in Zion, Zion. Sound the alarm in the holy mountain. Blow the trumpet in Zion, Zion. Sound the alarm.
I couldn't remember the last part.
That's actually a song. Like, Zion is a thing. It's not. They've taken like Zion and turned it into a curse word. Gaza, where jihadi Palestinian kindergarten children dressed as terrorists pretend to kill Jews at their graduation ceremony. Their former graduates are the ones hurling firebombs and explosive devices, burning tires and throwing. These are children, and I'm sorry for them. You really have to look at them as brainwashed. These 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, all the way up to in their 30s. They have been trained since they were 4 and 5 years old to kill Jews.
You know, it reminds me of, to me, nobody ever questions in Africa when those boys are kidnapped and they're
exactly
by this jungle, whatever they are, and everybody understands that those children have been brainwashed to become, what is the word I'm looking for? You know what it is.
Yeah. And they put these things on like every kindergarten. Like they start them right in kindergarten. Stab.
Kill the occupier with stones and knives. Use any available weapon. From the edge of fire when the blood calls to arms. The morning rises. These are children, by the way. There are children again. Allow me to welcome the great Islamic Jihad leader, Qadir Habib. The message of the children of Palestine today is a message of love to the whole world. Indeed, the spokesman for these children is saying today, the love that we bear in our hearts is enough to be distributed among all the people of earth. However, it is this Zionist enemy that kills the children, the women, and the elderly, and is occupying the land. It is this enemy that forces us to bear arms and protect our mothers and fathers, our elderly, and the honor of our women folk. The message that these children send the Zionist enemy today is, we do not want to kill anyone. We are not terrorists or murderers. We do not want to kill you. Get out of our land. Palestine has its owners. Do not force us to kill you. Indeed, if you continue with your aggression, with the plundering of our land and with the defiling of our Jerusalem, we shall bear arms. We shall be the soldiers of the future, God willing.
Jerusalem ain't yours, buddy. Where did the name Jerusalem come from? Are you Jewish? Come on.
And that's the whole crux of this thing.
Come on. This isn't even your holiest holy site.
These lands have been changing hands for a long time.
Jerusalem was Jerusalem long before your little Mohammed came into being. Crazy nitwit.
Very true.
This is as mean as I'm going to get today. Protesters from Peace Now, a left-wing organization in Israel, just showed up to a pro-Trump demonstration overlooking the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem with a pro-PLO, Palestinian terrorist sign. A pro-Trump Israeli shouted, "The sign is fake, just like CNN."
Ha!
The police made everyone leave.
It's fake! Just like CNN! People who are not Israelis living here. No, I'm Israeli, I live here. This sign is fake. Do not believe the media.
We need to disentangle from the West Bank.
I have to make it small again. Sometimes Twitter will play and sometimes my internet must be slow.
We all support Israel. We want Israel to remain a democratic state. We can't remain a democratic state.
Trump, make America great again.
Hold, guys, listen up. Listen. You see his hat says peace now. Just like Chamberlain, who signed a deal with Hitler. Listen carefully. Just like Chamberlain, who signed a deal with Hitler and said he's bringing peace in our time, that is peace now. These people signed deals with the PLO. They have hatred towards Israel. Let me ask you a question. When did Israel ever occupy Palestine? Give me the year.
1967.
That was Jordan. It wasn't Palestine. No.
We're not having.
I want you to see. It's very intense.
As you can see, it's the complete opposite of what would be happening in America.
Many people have many views on this.
They have Mecca.
It's not black and white for everybody. Okay, so here is a young man who has a sign for Trump. How old are you? You're 14 years old? Almost 14 years. Are you American? Are you American?
No, I'm from Israel. Yeah, I have an American citizen, but I'm Israeli.
You like President Trump?
Yeah, he's good.
Did you make this sign?
Yes,
Thank you, President Trump, making Jerusalem great again. How old are you? You're 14. And see, here's the thing. Like, all these people are pro-Trump. They're pro you and me. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they're for us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And I've said this before, but for the past 10 years
they're not
or so,
my enemy.
I have been taught that the entire world hates America.
Right.
And here we are hearing from people that are not American that love America. And I love that people love America.
Right.
And I love that we are finally a nation that other nations can love again. Because it's been a really long time since anybody overseas could proudly say, I love America. I love their president. It's just been far too long since that has happened. So I'm really excited about this just from that standpoint alone.
Love Obama.
Because I remember thinking to myself when I would hear this, and maybe it's childish of me, but I'm like, but I didn't do anything. How is it that these people across the globe hate me and want to kill me? It's like racism. You know what I mean? Just because I am American. You should never hate and want to kill somebody unless you, like, know them and know that they have done something really, 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 really bad.
So here's some dancing. This is excitement.
I can dig it. With some kind of music. I can get down to anything.
There's a lot of different people groups in this world.
Yes.
And not all cultures are created equal.
True.
And I will say that Christianity and the need for Israel to need Christians has even changed the Israeli outlook on the world.
It has, because Christians are pretty much the only friend that Israel has left.
Right.
And I love that. I don't love it, but I love that they are forced to cling to Christianity and to cling to Christians because we're the only ally.
So are these peaceful protesters? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And this is what was happening during the opening ceremony. And so when you hear the left, the liberal left, saying that Israel murdered people, well, this is what they're doing. And I love how some of them are like, all they did was go up to the border and throw rocks. I mean, seriously, did you have to shoot them? Well, you know what? David killed Goliath with one smooth stone. Yeah, so, and these are children. These are children who have been brainwashed over time. And it is really sad. So, Kyle Kashuv, the little Ben Shapiro on steroids in the making, is on Twitter, like,
Isn't he from
super conservative Parkland?
Yeah.
Parkland survivor.
Right.
He has gone full-on conservative Twitter fiend. He's amazing. So he quotes out scriptures, by the way, today. If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember you. If I do not set Jerusalem above my highest joy, remember, O Lord, against the sons of Edom, the day of Jerusalem's fall, those who said, tear it down. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they be secure who love you. Psalm 122:6. Vice President Pence says, it was in Jerusalem that King David consecrated the capital of the Kingdom of Israel. Since its rebirth, the modern state of Israel has called Jerusalem the seat of the government. Today, President Trump and the American people acknowledge this historic truth with the opening of the U.S. Embassy. Say a few prayers for Melania Trump. She went to
kidney surgery.
You went to the hospital today with kidney surgery. They say she's doing very well. Here, it's Benjamin Netanyahu saying, we are happy to host the distinguished U.S. delegation in Israel representing President Trump. And so once you just kind of see some pictures there, they're not getting big, so forget it. Paul Joseph Watson says, Laura Loomer is on the ground in Jerusalem with live coverage of Infowars. The rest of the legacy media aren't too happy with this because she's the only one challenging their narrative. So now I'm going to start scrolling back up to some of my other tweets I tweeted out today. No, stop, wait. I know Twitter's so responsive to my Israeli posts. Isn't that great? It's like,
so I do want to address just a little bit while we have some of you here that still are kind of thinking, all right, the Palestinians
horrible time with
are indigenous people. That's what a lot of people think, that the Palestinians are indigenous to Palestine. And that there's some sort of heritage there. And I think somebody earlier in the chat had said it's like what we did by coming into the Native Americans.
No. And I want to give you a little piece of history, a little lesser known piece of history. At the time of Israel's forming, everyone in that area, no one was kicked out. I just need you to know this.
Yeah.
The Palestinian Authority was created, and they demanded that the Muslims leave. Some Arabs stayed. Okay? Everyone was given a chance to stay. In fact, they weren't just given a chance to stay.
They were asked
Israel
to stay.
needed numbers.
They wanted them to stay.
Israel needed numbers. Okay? So they asked the Arabs, the other Arabs who weren't Jewish, to stay.
Yes.
But the Muslims in the surrounding area said, no, we have a plan. We are going to get this back. We will not, don't stay, don't keep your farms, don't keep your houses, leave and look like victims. And we will attack and we will forcibly take it back one day, which is what you had happen in the 67 war, the 7 Days War, whatever, right? And at that time, Israel took some territory. They didn't, and that's another piece of history that people don't understand. Oh my gosh, Israel has this territory. Right. They need to give it back, and they actually have offered it back in various deals and negotiations.
Right.
But the Palestinians as a whole and Hamas, they're not happy with any deal. They're not happy with Israel existing at all.
Right.
And I need you all to know that wherever your house is at, you don't belong there. Unless your people have been there for 2,000 years, which I guarantee you none of you have. Okay? None of us are actually belong where we're at. And you sit there on your high horse.
Telling Israel mad.
I was going to say freaking.
I know what you were going to say, but you don't even let me
swear.
say that
We don't
word.
use that word. We sit there on these little high horses and we're like, it's like what the Americans did with the Indians. But bam, I love my house. I will see. Are you giving your land back to the Indians at all? No, you ain't. You ain't. Okay? Israel, the Jewish people, they actually have a history that goes back
before the Palestinian Arabs.
Before Muslims even were Muslims. Remember, you guys. Do you understand anything? This is what I don't understand. You people who talk about Israel like this literally have history in the past, like, 50 years in their heads. They do not... do you know who the Ottoman Turks were? Do you even know what the Ottoman Empire was? Do you even know that it fizzled away in the late 1800s, but it literally it encompassed this huge swath in the Middle East, including like Iraq and Jerusalem and all these places, and Turkey? Okay, this is what happened. Turkey's like this big, right? Ottoman Empire this big. It's shrunk back up. Erdogan, the current president of Turkey, still has in his blood and his bones the idea that the Ottoman Empire is going to rise again.
Yeah.
Okay, you had Alexander the Great. He took over everything. You had Rome. Rome took over everything. Okay? You guys, you have to look through history, and things are messy. Okay? But there is, like, my house is not always organized, but sometimes it's more organized than at other times. True. Okay? So the world, the globe is messy, and none of y'all deserve to be where you're at today. Not one single person. Okay? So get off the high horse for 1 second.
Well, and I understand. I think this person, the Ohio Norseman, who had originally said that quote, I may be wrong here, saying that you're a pagan or an atheist or whatever. So you may not be able to go with us on this next part, but for those of you that are, you can understand this. The Old Testament is kind of messy. There was land, the promised land. It wasn't uninhabited when God sent the children of Israel there.
Right.
And they had to go, and Joshua had to fight, and a lot of times they took land. I don't know. I'm not God. You're not either. Okay? I do not believe in conquering land. I wouldn't do it. If I was a Hebrew back then, I would have followed. I would have conquered. I would have obeyed God. I may not understand it. God's ways are higher than our ways. So when I look at Israel coming back to the Jews coming back to Israel and coming back to Jerusalem, I see them coming back to their rightful place before God. I can't mess with that, and y'all shouldn't either. It's hard to talk to an atheist on that level, but I want our Christian friends who may not understand this and may not know which way to go either way to at least go with me that far. They belong there. That's where they are called to be. God got them there.
And I'll tell you this. The only reason the rest of the Arab world is all upset about it, it's a little tiny piece of property, you guys. It's not about the property. It's not about the Palestinians getting back their land. Okay? It's a hatred for Jews. Period. End of story. It goes back to the Quran. Okay? I was in one of my tweets today that I tweeted out. I follow this ex-Muslim girl who's kind of on the fence whether she likes Christians or not. But she sticks with us, or we stick with her. Her name is Yasmin Muhammad. She actually had to wear a full burqa at one point in her life. And she tweeted out today, when my husband asked his Egyptian friend to teach him some swear words in Arabic, his friend taught him Yehudi. When we met, he learned I was half Egyptian. He thought it would be funny to impress me with his Arabic. I was mortified. Yehudi means Jew. You Jew is a common insult between Arab Muslims. A lot of Muslims dream about Jewish genocide. I'm glad I left all of that hate and bigotry. When I see Muslims come out of the Muslim faith, this is the only thing I have to go on, y'all. They say, I was taught to hate the Jews. Right. I was taught to want them to die. I was taught to want them to not exist. And that is the only reason that there is any sort of anger or frustration over the Jewish embassy. You guys, here in America, we have this thing, it's called eminent domain. Look it up. Look up a bunch of properties that have been taken down to build a shopping mart. So yeah,
or to widen the road.
I might be sorry. I am sorry if people lose their property.
Right.
But on the scale of things, I am a realist. Okay? The Jews were literally almost wiped off the face of the planet. Give them a stinking country. The Arabs have Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon.
And you know what? The Jews aren't welcome in any of those places. They're not welcome anywhere, as a matter of fact. So if there is going to be a country
for Jewish people,
Israel, for Jewish people, the whole world at the time, not the whole world, but a lot of people decided, you know what? You know where it would really make sense. We got to find a place for these people, because what just happened with the whole Hitler thing, really bad.
We only have one stinking planet. Where do you want to put them, on Mars? It only makes sense. So I'm
these
sorry.
People are so hateful that they really would like to put them on Mars.
I am sorry that some Palestinians moved.
Yeah.
First of all, they didn't need to. They weren't forced out. They left on their own. Okay? They were told they were going to go back and get it back.
Invited and they were welcomed to stay. They left on their own.
You can look that up in the Jordanian history of the area, okay, Palestine. They're quite honest about how it all went down. They put themselves in a good
comments here. Have you ever read the Talmud? So, I don't agree with the Talmud. Let's establish that fact.
I don't agree with writings after what I believe that God didn't write the Talmud. God wrote the Torah.
I'm gonna make a
same thing with the Catholic.
Make a point here, though.
Same with the Catholic faith.
Hold on a second.
God wrote the Bible. He didn't write all that other stuff.
I don't agree with the Talmud. I do not. I will establish that right here and right now. I also don't agree with the religion that shall not be named.
Right.
And the Quran.
Right.
Does that mean that all of those countries that have Islamic states that do female genital mutilation, that treat their women as third-class citizens, they can't leave their country without permission of their male guardian, whether it's a husband or a brother or a father? Does that mean that all of those countries that produce terrorism, does that mean that I'm going to all of a sudden say they don't have a right to exist?
Right.
That's what you're saying when you leave an ignorant comment like, have you read the Talmud? I'm going to let you know something. All Jews don't believe in the Talmud either. Shocker. It's just like all Christians are not a certain denomination. Catholics have extra books. Okay? I don't believe in them. I love the Catholics anyway. Okay? So you can't just say, have you read the Talmud? And then all Jews are bad. Come on. Let's think critically here, you guys. You can't just pull out something like that. It doesn't sound right coming out your mouth.
Another story. I had a guitar student in my office wanting to transfer into my class. He was very angry at his current teacher. With his limited English, he spat out the worst insult he could muster. She's Jewish lesbian. I was commonly told to stop acting like a Jew when I was growing up. Asking questions is considered acting Jewish. That's why, I mean, Jews are really smart, dude. Like, here's the thing. No offense to the Arabs in the region. But it was a stinking desert, okay, when the Israelis showed up. God helped them create the best oasis. I grew up hearing about this, learning about this. They were able to create vegetable farms and fruit farms. And when the Palestinians would get some of that land back, they destroyed it. They're destroyers in their, they're taught in their minds to destroy. It's not in their DNA to destroy.
It is in the ideology.
As little kids.
Eric Butler leaves a fantastic comment that goes with that. He says, the fact is, if Palestine wasn't being used, Israel would help them. They don't want help. No. They want to kill.
Right, exactly.
Well said, Eric.
She says, I think this was to demonize the act of thinking critically so that people would be more eager to conform. If asking questions, i.e. thinking, is considered a Jewish trait, people would avoid it. The Quran is full of stories of Jews asking too many questions. The worst insult an Arab can give to another Arab is Yehudi. You're a Jew. You're a Jew. I mean, come on, guys. Nobody jokes. Nobody would even joke to insult somebody and say you're a Muslim. It just doesn't roll off the tongue either. You know, no one would want to say that. Like, I would never say that about my worst enemy. Sorry, that's just weird. I just wouldn't do that. It's just weird. While left-wing demonstrators demonstrated against there's some dancing here.
And I want to reiterate to the moderators, if a comment is contrary to what we are saying, please leave it. If it is vulgar, then delete it. But if it's just contrary, leave it. Let's have a part of the discussion.
There's Trump shirts everywhere, by the way. You know, just take for a second. Jewish young men, Palestinian young men, dancing in the streets, holding hands, excited, learning, loving, caring, building, destroying, burning tires, tearing things down. Here's the thing. They have places to go and places to live. Jordan would take them. They can live in Lebanon. They can live other places. But the Arab Authority props up this little group of people and says, stay there. You are our way back into destroying the Jews and getting the capital back. It all goes down to the back to the Crusades, right? They force them to stay there and to not just breathe, build a house, plant a garden, live a life. Mm-hmm. Their life isn't about building. It's about their whole life from birth to death is about destroying something. Destroying the Jews, destroying Israel.
Well, and I want to point out something. It's not just an honorable thing that they will not give up their what they assume is their land. We're going to fight until we get it back.
Right.
I don't know that I have a problem with that. I really don't. What I have a problem with is the fact that they hate all Jewish people,
right,
just for the sake of being Jewish, and they want them all dead and gone just for the sake of being Jewish.
Very interesting, though. I had to ban a bunch of people from my Facebook page because they got into arguments, and they said, no, you don't understand. It's not the Jews. It's Israelis, though. It's okay to hate Israelis, Israeli Jews. If you have Israel on your passport, it's okay to hate you. It's okay to deny you in certain countries.
By the way, another fact that you may not know, people from Israel can't get into many of those Middle Eastern countries. They are literally not allowed in.
Right.
You are not welcome here. So, again, we get back to, where would you have them go, my friend?
Leave it to
They ain't allowed in anywhere.
Thomas Wicker, leave it to the Chinese to tell us what's really happening, and they actually did use, women and children to throw things out. Now I want to read you parts of this thread. We're going to kind of sum this up. We're going to leave on a happy note. But
do we have to?
Yeah. So here we have these protesters. Oh, they play it up. And does this look like women and children? No, these are men of fighting age. The same ones going into Israel, into Europe. This guy right here playing it up big time, like for the cameras. Looks like he hurt his calf. Oh, ow. And they love to, this is the same stuff. This is what I understand about, the lefties. And they show you that the white helmet stage things, right? These are the same dudes staging things. The white helmets and these guys, they're the same cray-cray. And they just can't see it.
Right.
Like, I'm totally with them. I would be betraying myself to be on their side and to see things the way they're seeing it. As the Palestinians. If I don't see the Palestinians as these crazy weirdos, here's the thing. Here, I got it. Ready? Bashar al-Assad.
Okay, we're going to Syria.
Is an evil dictator who does bad things. But under him
The people are happy.
The people were basically happy.
Mostly happy.
Christians and Muslims kind of got along. There was no forced hijab, no Sharia law, right?
Mm-hmm.
In comes the white helmets. They want Sharia law. They want Islamic control.
Yes.
Right? Linda Sarsour is Palestinian.
Yes, she is.
They want Sharia law.
Everywhere.
Right? They want Sharia law in Israel. They want Sharia law in Jerusalem. Right? They are extremists.
Yes.
But under Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel is very liberal. Very liberal.
Exactly.
They have like gay pride parades. Okay? They're very open. Nobody's forced to wear anything. Now, you do see the people with the beard and a dress and some of them. But
Hasidic
nobody
Jews.
Yeah, but nobody is legally forced to
Right.
do anything. But you can follow your religion the way you want to. The same thing as in Syria.
Right.
All right? Palestine acts like the white helmets and wants Islamic state and Islamic control. So we have to be able to, like I said, be adults. Think critically. See the lesser of two evils. See your house as mostly clean. Okay? Mostly clean. Israel, mostly clean. Okay? Palestinian, destructo. Tornado. Imagine somebody comes into your house and has a frat party every week for a year and doesn't clean the toilets or the refrigerator or anything.
Yeah, but it's a frat party with fire.
Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? Clean your house. Israel has a mostly clean house. You walk in and you say, it's a little cluttered in here. They're not clean. They're not perfectly spotlessly clean. But they walk in and it's livable for most people.
Right.
Okay, when we have religions, we have different people with different ideologies. All right, we have in America communist ideologies. In the EU, you got major communist ideologies.
Y'all
so
people got issues, man.
It's more livable here. Our house in America is cleaner than the EU. Okay,
True.
But we're still cluttered a little bit here. Do you understand what I'm getting at, guys? Do you understand my points?
I am with you.
All right, they're all extremely fit, militarily aged males. This guy's laying it on a big thick. He got wounded in his calf. Now, no need to act like you're dead.
Thank you, Scotty. He says, I can't believe liberals stick up for Islam and their oppression of women and homosexuals. It's like the militant left has a brain disorder where nothing they say is coherent or makes sense. And you're absolutely right. Because on the left, they are supposed to be, liberal and welcoming and women's rights and, all for homosexuals. And yet, for some reason, it's okay for the religion that shall not be named to hate on those people. And Israel welcomes them.
Right.
It's very great with women's rights.
Right.
And
the Palestinians want
maligned.
one last fake bloodbath. After they get it, they'll give up. Mm-hmm. After seeing how Palestinians murder their own children and blame their deaths on Israel, he says, I unplugged my sympathy meter. And here's this. Most of the dead at that last thing where the Israel massacred a bunch of people, they use civilians as cover. They are some Hamas,
like human shields,
violent terrorists. Let's see. When someone not officially affiliated with Hamas is killed, they get a Palestinian flag. Funeral after funeral is showing shaheeds, meaning jihadists engaged in military operations. Wow. So the funerals of these dead people are showing that they are jihadis. Jihad. They were doing this for jihad. All right? This guy is Hamas, and he's being carried by the Fatah al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade. Israel doesn't have to explain or apologize. She's under mass coordinated terrorist assault. Therefore, she gets to defend herself. Terrorist groups issue Majuhid posters for combatants killed in action. This is the Majuhid poster for some of these other guys with the, attacking Israel. So they get these posters. They get money. They raise them up as these little computer-run warriors in their minds. Just like in Indonesia, you see the children. This is brainwashing. This is just brainwashing, and I'm really sorry that it had to. I'm really sorry. I don't want them to die. We knew this was going to happen. They didn't. If they had stayed home, no one would be dead. What the world is acting like is that the Palestinians were going about their daily lives,
and here comes Israel.
And here comes Israel just blowing them to smithereens.
Right.
That is what you're getting, or that they were like literally on the border like this. Kumbaya, Allah, kumbaya. No, that's ain't what happened. You don't kumbaya with Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. How do you call those?
It's not Mazel Tov.
How do you call those cocktail things that they throw and light up? What do you call them?
Isn't Mazel Tov a Jewish thing, though?
Mazel Tov, whatever. I'm getting to the end of my tweets here, and we're going to end with hallelujah, I think, here. All right, so I could go on and on. South Africa withdrew their ambassador from Israel. Now, South Africa is run right now by people who are, for some reason, they have aligned themselves with Palestine. These commies in South Africa who are killing the white people all over the place.
Why is that a question for some reason? I think they have a little bit of a sympathy. They're thinking that the Palestinians are these indigenous people, and then just like the white Boer came in, and they feel like they have, and it makes total sense to me.
The United Nations Agency for the Palestinians reportedly helped facilitate today's violent Gaza riots by joining the general strike called by the Hamas-affiliated riot organizers, according to this Arabic language news site. So, way to go, UN. So, all right, I love Israel. Peace to the Middle East. I think this is actually going to bring peace to the Middle East. This, as Trump said, takes Jerusalem off the table. We're done. You're fighting up. You have pulled the baby apart too many times. You don't deserve this as this thing. No, I don't believe Jerusalem should be divided at all. Obama didn't either. Like, that was his words, but actually behind the scenes,
right,
he did believe that East Jerusalem should be Palestinian run.
Absolutely.
So we've been going for a while. I did go longer than I expected to. So I want to get to. I'm going to go back to this. This girl sings, I think, the most fitting song you can sing here. So we want to end with this.
So instead of Leah and Michelle singing, this will probably be much better.
Wow. That was dinner. That's the refund.
Well,
Patriot Gallery.
Patriot Gallery has something to add.
Well, this is great, but I think every once in a while we should go over what happened in 2014.
You mentioned that.
15, 16. I mean, I can tell you the signs and wonders God has done in the last 5 years. Your mind would be blown away when you compress it into like 5 minutes.
So, Patriot Gallery and I were talking about this. We were eating some taco dinners on our little veranda.
I haven't had tacos yet.
And that ain't my fault, Jack.
I said, let's go live first. She said, why don't you eat? When I got home, she said, you eat. And I said, no, let's go live and then I'll eat.
Not my fault, Jack. So anyways, Patriot Gallery was talking about, this is where we're getting Christian on you, right? Spiritual. There have been signs that have been happening. In 2014, we started to hear about these blood moons that would start to happen.
Jonathan Kahn, amazing
on Jewish holidays, 4 in a row. So on Passover and then on Sukkot.
That's in the Mystery of the Shemitah book that he wrote, that you can read about all this.
And why do we look to the signs? God speaks to us and says that God uses, in the beginning of Genesis, that he uses the signs in the heavens to give us an idea that he's moving. And we see that all through the Bible, most notably when Jesus died, solar eclipse, right? Mm-hmm. Moon turned to blood. And Jesus, when he was born, there's Star of Bethlehem. So we had another Star of Bethlehem lineup last year.
Yep.
We had a solar eclipse in America from sea to shining sea. We've done that. Huge sign. That's like so amazing.
Molotov cocktails.
Thank you. And you had these blood moons, right? 4 of them, all on Jewish holidays. Jewish this blood moon tetrad, and God is trying to say, I'm setting things up, right? I'm setting things up. 70-year anniversary. 70 is a huge meaning in Israel,
the Bible.
In history. They were 70 years in captivity before they went to go build the temple in Babylon.
But seriously, all this stuff can be. I want you to finish, but Jonathan Cahn. Isn't it CAHN?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
You can get all of this information. It will blow your mind all the way back to the inception of the day that Israel became a nation.
Right.
There's confirmations and things like that. I don't know them all.
So yeah, we do see biblical prophecy. We know that God's hand is on Israel and will always be on the Jewish people.
Right.
And that our lives are intertwined with this. So is it selfish? No, it's just, I know it's a fact. It's real. I feel it. And most Christians do. And we always have. And so we look and we see God moving, signs in the heaven, and the fact that Donald Trump was elected when he wasn't supposed to be. God set him there, and God had him move. He was going to take a couple of years to move that embassy, but he's like, nope, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get it done. 70-year anniversary, bada boom, bada bing,
and it was done like that. Amazing.
And he kept his promise. I mean, all these things lining up spiritually. So God is moving, and we can feel it. There is a spiritual battle, and I'm telling you that this embassy move is a part of that. When you see the fake news, when you see the persecution, when you see us being taken off of Twitter and YouTube, all of those forces are against this move to Jerusalem. And with this move to the embassy to Jerusalem, I feel in my spirit that the enemy has been snuffed out and lost a huge portion of his power to control and manipulate the narrative, where the devil has been running rampant for the past 100 years. Just crazy with the Federal Reserve and the income tax and communism and Nazism. I mean, just like, it's amazingly insane what's been happening the past 100 years. Is violence and death. Perversion. And Christians, the Bible says that if you humble yourselves and seek my face and turn from your wicked ways, I will come to you and I will heal your land. And Christians have been trying to do that the best they can. We got fake money, so it's really hard to see God with all that. We need to get back to gold and silver. But get back to, God hates, when I say get back to gold and silver, when I say fake money,
God hates God
hates unjust weights and balances. He hates it when you take a silver coin and you knock off a piece of it and you debase it. And that's what happens with our fake money. They're debasing it. You just can't see it. So God hates it because it's not fair.
It's just that with all the things that they control, the oligarchs, they control your money. They control the weather.
Yeah.
They do DARPA. They watch you on Facebook.
Right.
The only thing they can't and have not figured out yet is the signs and wonders in the sky.
They can't control the signs.
So it's the only thing you can depend on.
That's absolutely true. You can't depend on the weather. You can't depend on all these things. But God set the stars in the sky. He set the sun in the sky. He set the moon in the sky. And they can't mess with that right now. And so we know that God is speaking to us. All right, we're going to end with this.
There was a secret chord that David planned, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah.
She's singing. Yeah, girl can sing. She's not singing, she's singing.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
It's a pretty dress.
שמעתי שדוד הנים אקורד פלאים לאלוהים, ושאתה שונא דוד ידוע. אקורד broken. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I was waiting for somebody to raise their hands.
Halo. Going to church now. Wow.
Beautiful.
Love it, love it, love it.
All right, so we're happy about this, if you can't tell. We go live every Friday at 6 o'clock. We do European and UK news on Sundays at 1.
Eastern Standard Time.
Find us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. We have a website.
We have a P.O. Box.
ResistanceChicks.com.
P.O. Box is 107.
What is that? Sign language?
107. Milford, Ohio, 45150. Please drop us a letter, whatever, and we'll read it on air, hopefully. It's not weird. So,
Bill, we haven't forgotten. We still have yours. We'll probably do it the next time we do like a regular segment.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably do it on Friday. We meant to do last Friday. I don't know why we forgot. It just,
so I think this has been a really good segment today. And I hope that maybe we have allayed some of your questions, concerns, and fears about what has just happened here.
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. There are evil people in Israel. There are evil people that call themselves Jews that are Jewish. There's evil Americans.
Right.
People watching us are evil. Some of y'all know who you are. But seriously, it doesn't matter. This specific move itself, take all the players away from it, is a good move. And I'm really excited about it. So we love you. God loves you.
And God bless Israel. And God bless America. And God bless wherever you're at right now.
And you know what you need to do for your enemies?
Pray for them.
Pray for them.
Pray for them.
That's what we do. Okay, guys, we're going to sign off here. We may go live. I'm hoping that we can go live a little bit more than 2 days a week. This will make 3 for this week. Maybe we might be able to squeeze something in on Wednesday. We'll see.
We've got a video coming for you with the black sapote fruit from Josh Rodgers.
Call us racist one more time. We're eating black sapote fruit. Otherwise known as the pudding fruit that was sent to us by our viewer, who also does essential oils. I always put that in the description. Josh Rodgers, Young Living. Y'all need to get your oils from him. But yeah, Leah recorded that. It's on my phone. I'm going to upload it later. I got a lot of work left to do tonight. I didn't even get yesterday's live stream up on the Resistance Chicks channel or on the website.
Eat your dinner first.
Right.
Really
I will eat dinner and do that at the same time.
All right. Bye, guys. We love you. See you later.
Hasta luego. Is that tomorrow?
See you tomorrow.
No.
Hasta luego.
Hasta
see you later.
mañana is. I didn't say mañana.
You said tomorrow. You
I
said
said
luego.
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 Oh, that's the wrong scene. That's the Skype. I meant to do that. I was called